A crisp winter night in 1992, an ominous silence hung over the grand Italian mansion of Noah, the reigning Italian mafia boss. In the heart of Italy, where the vineyards meet the horizon, stood an imposing mansion that was more fortress than home. This was the sanctuary of Noah, the undisputed kingpin of the Italian underworld, a man as ruthless as he was refined. But that night, the tranquility was shattered. Without warning, the Russian mafia, led by an ambitious boss from the frosty east, launched a daring assault on Noah's stronghold. The stillness of the winter night was pierced by the cacophony of gunfire and the chilling echoes of shouted commands in Russian. Caught off guard, Noah's men scrambled to defend their boss and their home. Fear was etched on their faces, but they fought valiantly, their loyalty to Noah unwavering even in the face of such unexpected terror. The Russian mafia, however, had come prepared. They were not just ruthless but cunning. They had studied Noah's stronghold, knew its weak points and exploited them mercilessly. They moved like wraiths in the night, their steps synchronized, their actions decisive. The once grand mansion was transformed into a war zone. Bullets whizzed through the air, tearing through the opulent furnishings and priceless art. The scent of gunpowder mingled with the aroma of vintage wines, creating an intoxicating yet deadly cocktail. In the midst of the chaos, Noah's men fought back, their courage shining through the darkness. Yet the Russian mafia was relentless. They pushed forward inch by inch, room by room, their determination as cold and harsh as the Russian winter. The night raged on, the mansion echoing with the sounds of violence and defiance. Yet despite their bravery and tenacity, Noah's men were gradually pushed back by the invaders. As the dawn broke, the mansion lay in ruins, a grim testimony of the violent power struggle that had just begun. In the heart of Russia, the ambitious Russian mafia boss was plotting his next move. In the cold, unforgiving streets of Moscow, a new power was on the rise. He was not born into the mafia life, but he embraced it with a ruthless determination that sent shivers down the spines of even the toughest criminals. His name was whispered in dark corners, where men feared to tread. His ruthless tactics were the stuff of legends. He was the Russian boss, the man who dared to dream the impossible, to control the Italian mafia. His rise to power was nothing short of meteoric. He started as a lowly foot soldier, but his cunning intellect and relentless ambition saw him climb the ranks with alarming speed. He was ruthless, yes, but also strategic. He knew that brute force alone would not win him the throne. He needed allies, and he was not afraid to use his charm and wit to secure them. He formed strategic alliances with key figures in the Russian underworld, promising them riches and power beyond their wildest dreams. He played the game of power with the skill of a seasoned chess player, always thinking several moves ahead. His ultimate goal was always clear in his mind. He wanted to control the Italian mafia. He was not content with ruling just Russia, he wanted to expand his empire. He wanted to take over Noah's reign, to sit on the throne that the Italian boss had occupied for so long. He knew that it would not be easy. Noah was a formidable opponent, a man who had survived countless battles and emerged victorious each time. But the Russian boss was not deterred. He was ready to wage a war, to sacrifice everything for his ambition. He knew that the road to the top was paved with danger and uncertainty, but he was willing to walk it, no matter the cost. With the Italian mansion in ruins, the Russian boss was all set to take over Noah's reign. He was ready for the battle that lay ahead, ready to write his own chapter in the bloody history of the mafia world. Despite the heavy losses, Noah wasn't one to back down without a fight. He was the kind of man who thrived under pressure, the kind of man who saw setbacks as stepping stones to victory. His empire was under siege, and he knew he had to act fast. First things first, he rallied his remaining men. He made them understand that this was not just a fight for power, but a fight for their very existence. He instilled in them a sense of urgency and purpose. He told them, "We are not just defending our turf, we are defending our honor, our legacy. We cannot let it fall into the hands of those who don't understand its value." As he rallied his troops, he also sought new alliances. He knew he couldn't do this alone. He reached out to other Italian families, even those he had once considered enemies. He knew that a divided house could not stand. He told them, "We may have had our differences in the past, but now we have a common enemy. If we don't stand together, we will fall separately." With his men rallied and alliances formed, he began to plan his counterattack. He knew he couldn't afford to play by the rules. He had to catch the Russian boss off guard. He had to strike when he least expected it. And so he planned a surprise attack. He would hit them where it hurt the most. He would hit them when they thought they were safe. He knew this was a gamble. He knew the odds were against him, but he also knew that he had something the Russian boss didn't. He had the heart of a true Italian boss. He had the will to fight, the courage to risk it all, and the determination to reclaim his throne. And so, with a plan in place, with his men ready, and with new alliances forged, he prepared for battle. "We may be down, but we are not out," he told them. "We are the Italian Mafia, and we will not go down without a fight." With a renewed sense of determination, Noah was ready to reclaim his throne. The stage was set for a final showdown between the two Mafia bosses. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the city's underbelly came alive. This was not just another night. This was the night that would decide the fate of the Italian Mafia. A night where the cold, calculated strategy of Noah, the Italian boss, would clash with the raw, untempered power of his Russian adversary. The epic battle kicked off with a bang. Literally, an explosion rocked the quiet night, a signal to the start of the war. Noah, known for his strategic genius, had set traps throughout the city. Each explosion was a chess piece moving, a calculated attempt to corner the Russian boss. But the Russian was no stranger to the game. He was a powerhouse, a force to be reckoned with. He bulldozed through Noah's traps, leaving destruction in his wake. The city became a battlefield, a maze of smoke and fire. The tension was palpable, the suspense high. Who would emerge victorious? The fight raged on, intense and unyielding. Noah, always one step ahead, used the chaos to his advantage. He navigated the battlefield with the finesse of a seasoned veteran, always just out of reach of the Russian's grasp. Meanwhile, the Russian, unyielding and relentless, powered through, his eyes set on one thing only, the Italian Mafia. He was a storm, a whirlwind of power and fury. Each step he took was a step towards his goal, each move a testament to his resolve. The battle reached its peak, the suspense nearly unbearable. The Italian boss and the Russian were locked in a deadly dance, a dance where one wrong move could mean the end. It was a fight for control, a fight for power, a fight for the very soul of the Italian Mafia. The battle was fierce and brutal, but only one could claim victory. In the aftermath of the war, the Mafia world was forever changed. The echoes of gunfire had barely faded, leaving behind a silence that spoke volumes about the brutal conflict between Noah, the Italian boss, and his Russian adversary. The war, like all wars, had its victors and its casualties. The Italian mansion, once a symbol of Noah's power, was now a monument to the consequences of ambition and the thirst for control. The once lush Italian gardens were now scarred by the ravages of battle, a stark reminder of the price of power. Emerging from the ashes of this conflict was a new order, forged in the crucible of battle. The victor, though scarred and battered, had claimed the spoils of war. Noah, the Italian boss, had defended his territory, maintaining his hold over the Italian Mafia. His victory, however, was not without loss. Many of his loyal soldiers had fallen, their sacrifices marking the path to Noah's survival. On the other side, the Russian boss, ambitious and relentless, had underestimated the resilience of the Italian boss. His dreams of controlling the Italian Mafia were shattered, his forces decimated. His defeat, however, did not signify the end of the Russian Mafia. Like a phoenix, it would rise again, perhaps more cautious, and definitely more dangerous. The war had a profound impact on both the Italian and Russian mafias. It was a stark reminder of the volatility of power and the lengths to which one would go to defend it. The Italian Mafia, under Noah's leadership, had weathered the storm, but the war had left its mark. Conversely, the Russian Mafia, though defeated, had learned valuable lessons. It was a war that neither side would ever forget. In the ruthless world of the Mafia, power comes at a steep price, a price that Noah and the Russian boss had to pay. Yet in this world, power is a siren's call, irresistible and deadly, promising glory to those brave or foolish enough to seek it.